Hello all you Axis Allies! It's time for Axis Allies G40 Enderman'S House Rule Playtest Invitational Game. Recap! With LT as Russia and France, Enderman US and China, PROZACH as UK, Europe, and UK Far East Command, or the FEX. Introducing the Axis, the WARDEN as Germany and Italy, and me as Japan Man. So we've just finished round one of our game. Should look over the map here. The Germans, the Russians. Used to be the Russians there. Japan. China. The USA. The other side of the world there. Britain. British Europe. And who else? The Italians. And let's see who else. Oh yeah, the FEX, the British Far East Command. See what they did. And of course, pathetic France. Basing you over there and here. Har 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 dee har har. But anyways, let's see what we go in order. See what Germany did. Yeah, Germany took over France, of course, as they should. They got rid of much of the shipping in 110 and 111, as always. Getting rid of the destroyer and transport in 106 of the British and their cruiser there as well. More on that later. And not declaring war on Russia yet, but it's building up. Getting their Finland, of course. Setting up in the Eastern Front. And they're playing Southern Italy. Also in Tobruk with a fighter. But under these Enderman rules, Germany gets the role for if they control certain French territories after the capture of Paris. So let's see what they got. What they roll. With their rolls, they got Algeria, but Morocco stayed Vichy. But at least it's not Free French. But so Germany has the option of taking Morocco over, but just by a walk-in of the Vichy Morocco. French West Africa is also Vichy. So it's Central French Africa. But French Equatorial Africa counts towards the Germany's IPC pile, as well as French Madagascar. But the destroyer stays Vichy. So no one has it. But it does block the movement of that destroyer, the British. Har 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 dee har har. And let's see, they also got the New Hebrides. That's how you pronounce it, Enderman. New Hebrides. That's Vichy. But French Indochina falls under German control. But I don't particularly care for that rule. That should automatically went to Japan because it is in Asia, but That's something we'll have to. Well, Enderman has to work out maybe in the second playtest of this game. There's no reason why the Germs should have it, but I didn't argue it since this is a playtest. But Germany still gets the IPCs of the two in French China regardless. So it helps out the Axis either way. Yeah, that's. Yeah, let's see, what did they build? They just built some infantry and some mechs, and also a destroyer there in 113 as well. Impressive with that Luftwaffe, but you can see there wasn't much of a Kriegsmarine in the Atlantic. More on that later. Let's see what Germany lost. In unit IPC losses, let's see what they lost. They lost in round one. They lost their battleship, 4 of their submarines. They lost a dive bomber or attack bomb, if you will. They lost it in the Atlantic, and they took heavy losses in the Battle of Paris. They lost 7 men, a mech, and 2 artilleries. So, altogether, they lost 88 in marks. I'll leave a mark in IPC losses. But those are pretty high numbers, but they're not the highest in this game, in this round one. We'll see who takes that title. So, now, for Enderman'S Russia. Let's see what they did. Well, they're not at war, because Germany didn't declare it, but they did build up in the Eastern Front. Building a couple of units in Leningrad. Make sure they have their borders all set up there against the German onslaught eventually. He builds some units in the Ukraine factory. They also put all their Siberian forces in Amur, but not there anymore, as you see, but more on that later. But because the Japanese took over Amur, Russia does get Mongolia along with its 6 infantries. And let's see what they collect. They still collect their 37 in IPCs. And I forgot to tell you, Germany collects. Yeah, well, their base pay and wherever they saved is 43, but they get 19 in IPCs because of the capture of the French capital. 19 there. So the total is 62, I should say, in IPC that Germany gets to spend the next round. So let's see what poor Russia lost in round one. Well, they lost all that, unfortunately for them. They lost all that in Amur. They lost 18 infantry. Also, with a tank that they put there, and also 2 AA guns. So, a total of 70 rubles in IPC losses of units. But I'll put them behind Germany, I believe. Let's see who's number 1. But we'll get to that later. Now for Japan. Japan, man. Let's see what they did. They go 3rd in this game. Well, as I said, they took over more. They put, I think, about close to 30 units into the attack on Amur, and that's all that's left in there. They only lost 7 men. I thought I'd lose more, but I rolled pretty good. Actually, Russia rolled pretty bad in that. That's why so little casualties to myself. But he lost 7 infantry compared to his 18 infantry, his 2 AA guns, and his tank. So that was well worth it. And let's see what else I did. Yeah, I built a couple of transports, and also 3 horses, or cavalry, if you will, in Enderman'S factory of Korea. Thank you, Enderman. I could use that factory, so I got 3 horses there. And of course, I took over some Chinese territories as well, of Johar, Anhui, and I did have Hunan and Yunnan at the time, but more on that later. Chinese counterattacked to that. But you see, I put most of my navy there, so don't give the Fek nation or Farsi command any ideas of attacking me early. And I still got all my air force, as you see. So 21 in total in aircrafts. Impressive, most impressive. And I collected 31 after that turn to get to spend the next round. And let's see what I lost in total. More casualties in the Chinese counterattack in Yunnan and Hunan. I lost 12 infantries along with 2 artillery, so not too serious. So 47 in yens and IPC losses of units. So that's not too bad, I guess. And next up, America. Well, America didn't lose anything because it's not at war, actually. So I won't be giving their total IPC losses because they didn't lose anything. But they took most of their stuff out of the eastern U.S. and put it mainly in the Pacific. Let's see, building a little factory in Alaska. Also building up a little bit there. You see the build up in the West Coast and their purchases, and that Atlantic transport went into the Pacific as well. He's building up in Wake Island. Spreading out his subs, the Pacific as well, and still bravely holding in the Philippines with his fighter and destroyer. He didn't retreat though. Let's see, well, why not? Let's see what they collect. They still collect their 52 IPCs. I should brought out under Enderman'S house rules. No one gets NOs. National objectives, which I don't like, but I guess it can be reviewed for after this game. See if Enderman will implement it in his next game. We'll see. Like I said, it's just a playtest. Okay, next up, the Chinese. Enderman'S Chinese. Big deal. What? He did do something. There's nothing much he could do with losing his northern territories, but his southern territories he got right back. Lucky Rose in Hunan. I had 4 units there. He came in with 4 units and a fighter, his flying tiger. He luckily got Hunan with just 1 casualty to himself against my 4 Japanese grounders and casualties. That hurt. And of course, it was helped by the fact that the U.S. I should have mentioned, under Enderman'S rules, they get to build 2 infantry, lend leaks 2 infantry to the Chinese, so that's why the Chinese were able to get back Hunan. I don't like that rule, but that'll have to be reviewed. Like I said, it's a play test. Of course, I got their Hunan easily back against my 2 units that were there that captured previously. But I did shut down their Burma Road at the time, so Enderman couldn't build any tanks or artillery for the Chinese, so now on you. Oh, poor Chinese. Yeah, that's all they're doing, a little build-up. Or that territory's called. We'll say Babyville, but I'm going to call it, he's going to probably call it Shensi. And of course, they did a little buffer zone there as well. That's my Japanese. I should have mentioned one of the U.S. purchases was a destroyer for Britain as a Lend-Lease. They put it in 109, and eventually the British put it there on their turn. More on that later. Well, let's see what the Chinese collect. They still collect 10. They got 2 back their territories in Hunan and Yunnan. So 10 to spend next round. And let's see who else. It'll be PROZACH finally. Let's see what his UK Europe did. Shall we? Yeah. Well, that's also the first UK and Far East Command for the UK as well. Let's see what the British Europe did. Well, they build themselves more of a Royal Air Force, as you see. They wisely did the Taranto raid, destroying that fleet, Italian fleet in '97, and also the little fleet in '96 as well. As you see, there's not there no more. More on that later. And of course, they lost their 111 and 110 fleet to the Luftwaffe and Kriegsmarine. Yeah, but with their remaining destroyer and destroyer Lend-Lease from America in 109, it went into 110 and took out the Kriegsmarine battleship and also their sub, and they lost a destroyer in the process for the British. So, light casualties for them. Of course, they took aircrafts, I do believe, in there as well. And so the Taranto Air Force, air raid Taranto, air raid of the raid of Taranto, the Royal Air Force went to Malta, consolidating in Egypt. And also they took over Persia, as they cowardly did. Yeah, by transporting over there from the Med. Because they're stuck there and still in South Africa, they can't go anywhere with their destroyer because of the Vichy destroyer blocking their path, but we'll see how long that lasts. And I believe that's it for what they did. Let's see what they collect. And they'll be collecting 29 IPCs. They lost, it would have been 30, but the Kriegsmarine sub convoyed them out of one by IPC. So let's see what the FEX did, or the Far East Command. Well, Far East Command cowardly attacked Java and Sumatra with no casualties in himself. How brave! Oh boy, they wouldn't even dare touch Japan. I wonder why. Well, they did get 8 IPCs out of that process, making themselves richer, them greedy. I don't want to say the word. Yeah, they built some tanks and some infantries in India, and spreading their influences in Burma and whatever that's Shan State there. Of course, moving their navy in the 41 and I believe 42 sea zone. Protect their ships because they're too afraid of my Japanese. and consolidating in whatever that territory is called, Queensland. A real queen. Mostly their Air Force there as well. They probably won't stay there long. Yeah, but they'll be collecting a mass amount of 35 IPCs. Of course, with the facts, it's not the British Pacific Forces combined with the Anzacs. So that's why they're getting so much in 35 IPCs. And of course, Japanese didn't attack them, so that'll account for some of that too. And they couldn't really declare war on anybody besides them. So they didn't lose anything in IPC's losses. So who cares about them? Well, I might forgot to mention Chinese lost total together of 8 infantries, or a total of 25 in UNs and total IPC losses. Sorry about that, China, but not really. And I should mention what the British lost. The British Europe lost. What they lost? They lost 2 battleships, an aircraft carrier, transport, 4 destroyers, 4 cruisers, and 2 fighters. And also lost 2 infantry, artillery, and a tank. Most of that, half that, it lost that in France. Let's see what they lost. Well, they'll get the pleasure and the honor of being number 1 in IPC losses. 163 pounds total. Ooh, that's heavy, very heavy. They take number 1 position. Not a great goal score, would it be? No, it wouldn't. 163 pounds. So they took the lead in that. Oh, poor baby. And let's see who else. Oh yeah, now for WARDEN's Italy, let's see what they did. Well, of course, they did lose their fleet in 97-96, but they did counterattack a British fleet of, I believe it was a cruiser, a fully loaded carrier with 2 fighters on it. They sunk that, but they had to lose a little fleet, more the rest of their fleet as well. Doing so, I think they lost a destroyer, sub, and a cruiser in that process of doing it. So, not much of a. They don't have really any Italian fleet in the Med, with the exception of transport. But I don't think they'll be there for long. But they did take over Alexandria bravely with the transport, and also stuff from Tobruk as well. And they also took over Tunisia, which was Vichy at the time, so they get 1 IPC out of that, and also an extra man as well. So thank you, France and Germany, for rolling that. And of course, they took over the Sudan, destroying British infantry in the process, and walking in Kenya as well. They also took over southern France, and also the Yugoslav. Building up in northern Italy with I believe a mech and a tank. But they still have their air force. And they walked into Bulgaria because the Bulgarians invited them, so they gladly did. Now we're friends again. They get their IPC as well. And let's see what else. Also, at the time, the Italians took over southern France. They were convoyed at the time by this French Navy, so they couldn't collect the 3 IPCs for this round. But let's see what they do collect. Well, they would have been at 19, but now down to 16 after that convoy. Those will be 16 in IPCs they'll be spending next round. Very good, Italy. Very good. But let's see what they lost. Let me get over here to get a closer look. They did lose a battleship, 2 cruisers, 2 destroyers, 2 transports, a sub, 3 men, and a tank as well, which shouldn't have been, but that was the warden's mistake, but he'll have to live with it. Ask him if you know what that means, but we players know what that mistake was. So, total IPC losses, 95! I believe that takes, yeah, that would take second place. Second place, 95 liras in total IPC losses in units. Ooh, 95. I think they do take second place to the British Europe. I mistakenly said Germany, but it's actually Italy that's in second place instead of Germany, which is in 88 IPCs for them. So, let's see, who else? Well, finally, France. I couldn't find a coaster with the, how you say, France emblem on it. So I use a white flag. Very appropriate. Well, let's see. Let's see what they did. Yeah, as you know, they can't do much in this game in the first round. They did lose France. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. In Normandy, Bordeaux, that went to Vichy as well with Warden's rolls. So next round, that could become all German, but just a walk-in there, taking also Bordeaux's IPCs and also an infantry and an artillery. Impressive. And like I said, and the only territories that the French gained at the time was Syria. And of course they lost their southern France to the Italians. So actually they only get to collect one pathetic IPC to spend in Britain, according to Enderman'S rules. But I have to wait a couple more rounds to spend that. Just build up to 3 IPCs. And the French Navy, like I said, they convoyed the Italians, southern France of 3 IPCs. Also, with that same Navy, they went to 91 and took out that German sub that was there at the time. And of course, they marched into Transjordan to help out eventually with the Egypt's defense. They'll need it. And so let's see what the French lost. Well, the French lost mainly all this in France and off their European coast. They lost this, not a destroyer. I keep calling those destroyers. They lost a cruiser in 110. Also with, I believe that's seven men. I might be mistaken, but we'll call it 7 men. I think it might be 8, but I'll just call it 7 for the time, so I'll correct that. Also a tank, 2 artilleries, an AA gun, and a fighter. So let's see what they lost. 62 in francs. Impressive. Most impressive. Of course, some of that stuff was in southern France as well. But 62 in francs. And a total IPC losses of units. So they're much up there. At least it's even more than what Japan lost. But I think they're next to last in IPC losses. Yeah, that's like I said. I already said they only collect one IPC. Har har hardy har har. And I believe that's it. Yeah. So, hope you enjoyed that. And let's see. I'll put in my opinion in my comic section of what's the total losses of each side are in IPC unit losses. So watch out for that and give me time to do so as well as you watch it. So it'll be round 2 next. It'll be the Warden's turn of Germany, so stay tuned and subscribe to him, please. He needs the subscribers. Let's encourage him. So, Warden, very good. And allies, you know, my trademark. Get those rolls. The limit out.